Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. How would you feel if somebody called you a prima donna? I imagine you wouldn't be very amused by it. You'd feel insulted. Prima donna is Italian for first lady. Now, not the first lady in the sense of somebody who's married to a president, but the first singer in an operatic production. And the lead soprano singer was the prima donna. And what happened was that these prima donnas became very famous, and sometimes they would make all kinds of demands for the luxuries that had to be laid on in their dressing rooms and everything else. And so the term prima donna has now come to mean somebody who makes a lot of outrageous demands and isn't prepared to just accept what everybody else puts up with. And in the world of pop music, there are a couple of very famous prima donnas. One of them her name is Madonna. Madonna herself, when she came to Ireland in 2012, she insisted that in her dressing room in the Aviva Stadium, there had to be flowers cut to exactly 6 inches in length. 20 international phone lines had to be installed. I don't know why she was going to speak to 20 people at once. And the fabric in her quarters had to be fragranced with pink roses and lilies. And also, all the rooms that she was using, all the furniture had to be removed so she could install her own furniture that she brought with her just for those few days in Ireland. And whenever Madonna came to Ireland, she brought a 200-person entourage with her, which included 30 bodyguards, her own private chefs, and her own physiotherapist. So yes, we could call Madonna a prima donna. Another one is Mariah Carey. When Mariah Carey visited London in 2005, she insisted that her hotel suite had to have 6 dehumidifiers installed in order to protect her voice, that there had to be an extra suite beside it booked to act as a wardrobe for her. When she went to do a signing ceremony in a record shop, her staff insisted that the toilet had to be redecorated completely from top to bottom, even though she was only going to be in the shop for less than an hour. And when she was served tea, she smashed the tea set after her because she didn't want anyone else to eat off it because it had to be something exclusive to her. So yes, Mariah Carey is definitely a prima donna as well. Now, Jesus said something quite different. Whenever he sent his disciples out 2 by 2, and he sent them out on an important task, a much more important task than any operatic singer ever undertook or any pop star ever undertook. Jesus sent out his disciples 2 by 2 to cast out demons, to heal the sick, to raise the dead, and to preach the kingdom of God. But Jesus said this to them. He said, when you go, eat what is set before you. If a family offers you hospitality, then you stay under that roof. You don't search around to see if you can get a better offer. You know, I remember whenever I was first coming into Drogheda, I was still living up in Northern Ireland because I had a child, needed specialist medical treatment there. And I was coming into Drogheda. And when I came in, there was a family, Noel and Agnes Joyce, living outside Drogheda, who had a room specially made up that they invited me to stay in. They called it the Prophet's Chamber. That it was a place where anyone that was serving God could stop and stay overnight. And I really appreciated that hospitality and that kindness. That was a great place to stay. Over the years, some of the places I've stayed have been wonderful and some have not. But I've practiced what Jesus said, to stay, whatever hospitality is offered, to stay under that roof, to eat what is set in front of you. That's not always easy. There's been some countries where I've really struggled to eat what is set before me. I remember in one country, I was out in the bush and we were in this mud hut, and there was just this big pot in the middle of the hut, and everyone was sat round and everyone was just sticking their hand in and pulling out food and eating it out of their hand. And there was vegetables and there was some kind of bush meat in there and everything else. And nobody had washed their hands or anything else, and there was no running water in the village. One of the reasons we were there to actually arrange a digging of a well. And oh my goodness, for once, I could not eat that stuff. But thank goodness the hut was dark, so I just kept dipping my hand in the pot and putting it to my mouth as if I was eating the food, and I just decided to go hungry that day. But whenever I've been able to, I've tried to follow Jesus' instructions. Why? Because there's no room in the kingdom of God for prima donnas. There's no room for people who think that they deserve special exalted treatment, or that the rules that apply to everybody else don't apply to them. We're servants of the King, and we should accept hospitality when it's offered, receive it with gladness, and be grateful to those who have provided it. And I just today want to pay tribute in all my travels to the many people who have offered me wonderful hospitality, sometimes humble, sometimes very grand. But you know what? They've done it from the best of their hearts, and I've been eternally grateful for it. Today, I thank God for the gift of hospitality, and I thank God for the fact that Jesus enables us to be his servants and not prima donnas. Be blessed today. Join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.